Good morning and welcome. We will be starting shortly. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We're just allowing everybody to come into this meeting and we will start shortly. Good morning. We'll give it about 15 more seconds and we'll get started. There's a cursor moving on the screen. Good morning and welcome. We want to, first of all, thank you for joining us this morning. And I just want to say I am Erica Pines. I am with Marta External Affairs, and we are so pleased to have you here this morning. We are excited to share with you some important updates and improvements that are coming to the 5 Point Station. As an Atlanta native and a child who took Marta to school every day, still uses Marta for work and play, I couldn't be more excited about this project. So today we're going to walk you through what's going on, the past, the present, and the future, and we'll go ahead and go to the next slide and I can introduce the project team. So this morning we have our important partners with us, SOM. We have Alex and Trottenberg, we have EXP, Access Company, and Tate and Hansen, and we have Hummingbird, who is our engagement team, and you will hear a lot from them today. Thank you. And I'll bring up Alex now. Go ahead, Alex. Sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you, Erica. Thank you all for being here. We're excited to continue the public launch and public engagement and outreach for the 5 Points Transformation Project. Give me one moment. I want to make sure we turn on the live transcript. Okay. All right. So to go over our meeting objective and outcomes that we hope to achieve. So we want to make sure that we're building a foundational relationship with stakeholders, the public, and the community, and inform them and build awareness of the initiatives around the Marta 5 Point Station transformation, or what we call the FPT, and to engage participants in an open dialogue. We want your input, we want your ideas, we want your recommendations. I'd help better shape the design and the eventual construction of what will be a new and transformed 5 Point Station. In terms of outcomes, we want to make sure we're developing strong relationships with all of you, with others, with the public, by doing engagements like these and informing them throughout the FPT, 5 Points Transformation, design and construction process. We hope to collectively gain feedback from stakeholders in the public regarding the transformation and as well as 5 Points over the years. So that's why we're doing this historical, present, and future or transformation setup here today, and gather information on specifics of what you want to see in the next 5 to 10, the next couple years, the next 5 to 10 years and beyond as a result of the transformation. And I will pass it over to Kelly Davis of Marta to give us an overview and introduction of the 5 Points Transformation Project. Kelly?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. My name is Kelly Davis, and I am the director of the Facilities Capital Delivery Program here at Marta. And just like Erica, I am also a child of Atlanta who rode 5 Points as a child, and 5 Points is also very, very important to me. So the transformation is the process that we're taking to redesign and construct a state-of-the-art transit hub that will improve service for our customers, create a compelling destination for exciting for surrounding neighbors and businesses, and welcome millions of annual visitors to Atlanta. Okay.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay. So at this point, we ask that you open another tab on your browser, on your computer, on your iPad, your device, your phone, whatever. Go to menti.com, menti.com, and enter the code on your screen, 44593941. This will enable you to participate in our interactive polling with this presentation that we're going to facilitate between now and around noon today. And again, I'm Alex Trachtenberg. I'm Director of Operations with Hummingbird Firm, and we have the pleasure of working with Marta, SOM, and the full consultant team leading the public outreach and engagement for the 5 Points Transformation Project. So hopefully folks are logged into menti.com, have entered in the code or in the poll. We want to ask that you share one word that captures your aspirations for the 5 Points Station. One word, that's all. I know it's hard, but something that captures what you want to see in the future of 5 Points Station.
And Alex, will you spell out Menti for those who may not be able to see it on the screen?
Yes.
Go to menti.com to take the survey and use the code 44593941. Thank you.
Okay. Give it a few moments. Here's the link if it's helpful. Okay. All right. We will move on to the next slide. Well, we got a few more trickling in. Let's give it another minute. Okay, so here's some of our results so far. World-class, 2 words, but there's a hyphen there, right? So we'll count it as one. Creativity, reconnection, connected, activation, cleanliness, positivity, connectivity is showing up in a larger text size because it's been shared more than once. Pedestrian friendly, reconnecting again, state of the art, pedestrian focused. These are great. Thank you all. I'm going to move us on to the next slide. So at this point, I will pass it back over to Kelly, and we'll have a quick intro and overview of the history of 5 Points, and then we'll get into this question. Kelly?
Hey, so in 1965, the Georgia House Legislature, they passed the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority Act, which created MARTA. The precursor to MARTA was the Atlanta Transit Company, which operated buses in the city from 1950 to 1972. MARTA was originally proposed as the rapid transit agency for the 5 first metropolitan counties in the area, which were DeKalb, Fulton, Clayton, Gwinnett, and Cobb. As we all know, only 2 of the counties actually opted in originally, DeKalb and Clayton. DeKalb and Fulton. Clayton opted in 2016, and they have been a partner since then. In 1973, the design and engineering for the 5 Point Station began. From 1974 to 1975, we started acquiring property and demoing said property. In early 1976, construction actually began at the station. Atlanta got a great Christmas gift in December of 1978, and the first rapid transit agency in the Southeast opened with a line on our east side going from Avondale to Georgia State Station. The following year, in December of 1979, Five Point Station actually opened, connecting Five Points to Georgia State and all the way out to Avondale. And that was only on the east-west line. The north-south line actually opened December 1981, connecting the north-south from Garnett to Avondale, North Avenue Station. And in June 1996, all of our rail lines were complete. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you, Kelly. Great overview and history of 5 Points. I know I learned a thing or two, no doubt. Now we will ask you all to go back to menti.com. Hopefully you're still on there and still logged in. And please respond to this question. What does the history of 5 Points mean to you? This is an open-ended text question, so not looking for paragraphs or essays here. But maybe a short caption or a thought about what the history of 5 Points means to you. Please go ahead and respond when you're ready. Okay. Here are some of the responses that have come in thus far. Missed opportunity, not only to create a strong urban center from the start, but also to create connections to inner city transportation, buses and rail. The center of Atlanta, founding of the city at the RR 0 mile post railroad. 5 Points is a literal heart of Atlanta. The station should be treated with the importance and excellence it deserves. Center of Atlanta, importance of reconnecting pedestrian-focused downtown street grid. We must learn from previous mistakes. And we'll give it a few moments for others to share their thoughts about the history of 5 Points. Please go ahead and share your short thought about the history of 5 Points and what it means to you.
And if you're just joining and can't see the screen, it's Menti, MENTI.com. Go to Menti, MENTI.com, and use the code 44593941. That's code 44593941. Thanks.
Thank you, Erica. All right, another response. 5 Points is the heart of downtown, but it hasn't always been welcoming, safe, or clean. Concur completely with the above comment. Missed. Sorry, I can't quite see it. Here we go. Missed opportunities, especially the bus and intercity regional rail connection. Accommodating, encouraging, and prioritizing private automobiles has literally destroyed the historic multimodal core of our city. All right. I think with that, we will move on to our next slide. For the sake of time, we've got a few more questions we want to ask y'all, and certainly get more of these good thoughts and input. I'll just mention, as we're going through the presentation, please be sure to use the Q&A feature in your Zoom bar for any questions that you might have for the panelists at Marta. One more comment. 5 Points is the heart of Atlanta, but more needs to be done about the surrounding area. Thank you all very much. Okay, so another question for you. What are your memories of 5 Points? Again, please enter your thoughts into the Mentimeter. See this historic photo at downtown near 5 Points with lots of Marta buses being staged and ready to go to different areas of the city. And just for anyone else who may have just joined us, Menti, MENTI.com, code 44593941. All right, we're starting to get some responses in about memories of 5 points. Busy, lots of people, and loud, for sure. The center of the city, no doubt, lots of activity. 1996 Olympics, yep. New Year's Eve, the peach drop, love it. I'm also a native Atlantan, like Erica and Kelly shared. So I remember these, have these fond memories as well.
You don't look that old, Alex. To remember these pictures.
Oh, I don't remember those pictures, but I remember the Olympics. I certainly remember New Year's Eve. That's actually my birthday. And I've been to several peach drops at least, but yeah, I wasn't at the image in the Mentimeter. We've got another couple coming in. Thank you all. Riding downtown on New Year's Eve to watch the peach drop and being in the crowds and not being stuck in any car traffic. Love that. Rich's flagship department store. Yep, for sure. Over there on MLK. Maze-like, lots of stairs, elevators, escalators, levels, limited signage. Seeing concerts in Variety Playhouse. Awesome, very cool. Lots of cool things, lots of vibrancy and activities from these past memories y'all are sharing. Watching lots of competing sports fans head to the Dome or the Benz cheering on opposite platforms. We certainly have the opportunity over the years with the Dome and the Benz to see a lot of good games here in Atlanta and a lot of big events from the Super Bowl to college football playoffs, etc. Dragon Con cosplay and football fans in one place on one platform. Again, more of these, real flagship events that we've got here in Atlanta today and from the past. And we'll give it a few more moments here for folks to share any other thoughts, any other memories of 5 Points in the downtown area. And again, just want to make sure folks are aware, if you do have questions going on throughout the Mentimeter in this presentation, please do use the Q&A function on Zoom. I've got some more pickup games at the Soccer in the Streets pitch. Love that. Big fan of Soccer in the Streets. I used to play at the West End station pre-COVID and had a lot of fun playing over there. And love the one at 5 Points downtown. All right. I think with that, we will move on to the next one. Sorry if we didn't quite get you, but you'll have more opportunities to share, no doubt. So you'll see here an image of the original construction of the current present day 5 Points station. And our question to you all is, what have we learned from the design and construction of 5 Points that can inform the transformation? So the renovation, the transformation of 5 Points station that we're engaging you all today about. What can we learn from the past design and construction of 5 Points to inform present day and the future of the transformation? And please share your thoughts on Menti. Remember, menti.com, menti.com, code 44593941. Give folks a few minutes to get some responses coming in here. All right, got some coming in. Thank you all. All right, so what have we learned from the design and construction of present day 5 Points that can inform the future of 5 Points in the transformation project? Like the open air plaza for pedestrians, breaking up Broad Street helped kill businesses south of the station. Built like a fortress, definitely got that brutalist architecture going on for sure. Limited activation around station, cuts off Broad Street and the street grid, Transformation should prioritize open air space. Okay, that's great. Should have had more development around it, especially housing. That's a good point. Don't have as many residents downtown as we might like. Lots of students now. And I know there's some more residents coming in, and has been more residential construction downtown in recent years than there has been. All right, lots coming in. Large showing structure is less important. Having a vibrant street life and connected pedestrian streets is more important. Here. Lots of dead and inactive spaces, needs better bus facilities, tunnel to federal building and to underground Atlanta means fewer pedestrians. Art can transform a place into a space. That's great. That might be a good tagline. Built like a fortress, limited activation. Okay, we covered that one. Cutting off the street grid and harm the southern part of downtown. Reconnect the grid. Don't use downtown streets for bus idling. They should be loading and unloading. Create open spaces with shade that minimize urban heat island. Consolidate buses, don't spread them all out. Let's see, gotta have more connections to street level activity, reconnect the streets around it, and don't make it a bus facility. Lots of thoughts around bus access, loading and unloading, having downtown businesses, connectivity, housing, access to underground, reconnecting the grid. These are all great. Thank you all. Connect to intercity rail. Saw that one come in. Let's see if we've got any more. All right. I think with that, we will move along. Thank you all very much. Okay, so we will bring back Kelly Davis to give us a little bit of an overview and introduction of present day 5 points, and then we'll get into this question around how often do you visit 5 points? You're welcome to go ahead and respond to the question. Kelly, take it away.
Well, hey again, everybody. Currently, 5 Points has 31 routes to service stations, 10 are from Marta. We have several from the GRTA, the Grid Express line, the commuter buses, Cobb Link, and also Gwinnett County Transit uses the stations. At peak periods, we run about 26 buses per hour, and we average 16,000 customers on an average weekday. And we average about 35,000 rail to rail transfers each day at 5 Points. We do have several amenities. These are some of you all have mentioned, one of which is Station Soccer. Station Soccer launched in 2016, and it was the first soccer field at a transit station in the world. The next, one of the other things we have right now is what we call the Marta Farm. That is our community garden that's located at the station. That is a partnership between Central Atlanta Progress and the Atlanta Downtown Neighborhood Improvement District, and also Marta, and that was launched in 2016 also. Another one of the amenities that we have is the Marta Market. The Marta Market is meets every Friday from 3 to 7 between April and early December. That is not open the day after Thanksgiving, but it does provide fresh foods and fruits to members of the community that can't go out other places. And that is a partnership between the Atlanta Community Food Bank, Open Hand, and Wholesome Way, Georgia. Also, our latest initiative that we launched is Marta Hope. That was launched in 2020, and that is a partnership between Marta and Hope Atlanta to aid our unsheltered population and help them find spaces to go to since they have taken refuge in the station. Alex.
Thank you. Lots of good activity and amenities already at 5 Points, some good things to build on. We got the fresh Marta Market, got station soccer, got the garden, some other things, certainly a busy and activated space. So let's get over to the results here. If you've just joined us, we're using Mentimeter for interactive polling and presentation. Go to menti.com, menti.com, and enter the code 44593941. All right. And now let's see what kind of results we've got. All right. Have a good bit of regular riders and users of 5 points. 38%, bumping up, 44% are daily riders. Another 44 at least ride weekly, and 11% are monthly. We've got nobody on the meeting today on the webinar that's just an annual or doesn't ride or use 5 points at all. You'll see the numbers are fluctuating a little bit as people continue to respond. Thank you for your responses. Now we've got 50% as weekly users and riders of 5 points, 55, 36% as daily, 9% as monthly. All right, give it just one more moment for any other respondents. Okay, bumping up daily a little bit, up to 42%, 50% weekly, 8% monthly. Okay. Oh, all right. Now we're at 30%, 38% daily, 46% weekly, and 15% monthly. Okay. I'm going to move us on to the next one. So we want to know how you use 5 Point Station. Is it as an origin, as a destination? Do you use it for a bus transfer, a rail transfer? Please let us know how you use 5 Point Station in the Mentimeter. And we've got some responses already coming in. That's great. Thank you. All right. So thus far, we've got 42% as an origin or a destination, 45, 35 rail transfer, 10% bus transfer, 10% other. If you're an other respondent, we'd love to know how else you use 5 points. You're welcome to try and use it in the chat. If you would like to share about the other ways that you use 5 Point Station. Now we're at 44%. Origin and destination, 32%, rail transfer, 8% bus transfer, and 16% other. Maybe other is station soccer. Maybe other is the garden. Maybe it's fresh Marta Market. Maybe you just like hanging out at the Plaza. I don't know. There's different options for how we could use 5 Point Station. So it looks like we've kind of leveled out here at 44% as an origin and destination, 32% for rail transfer, 8% bus transfer, and 16% other. All right, thank you all. So at this point, we have an open question. What are your concerns about 5 points that you want addressed by the transformation? Please continue to use Mentimeter, menti.com. If you've just joined us, we're using Mentimeter for our interactive polling and presentation. Go to menti.com and enter the code 44593941. We can also put that into the chat as well, so you can have it there. All right, so what are your concerns about 5 points that you want addressed by this transformation that we're talking about? So we've got some responses in. Please continue to share. I'll go ahead and show what we've got so far. There should be more housing in and around 5 points. Bus facilities need to be consolidated and improved. Okay. All right, got some more coming in. Thank you, thank you. Better connectivity between rail and buses, better access to buses, better overall safety, better wayfinding, more retail and street level activity, more housing, simpler access, consolidated bus access, provide an updated, clean and safe environment for pedestrians, reconnecting Broad Street, no bus layovers on sidewalk, Enliven it, retail, residential, events, art, technology, bring a dialogue with the design team in the garden, okay? Broad Street should be a transit and pedestrian street, no cars. Thank you all for sharing these ideas and concerns and things you want to see in the transformation. Inactive plazas that use hostile infrastructure and create concrete heat islands, a disconnected grid system where downtown streets are used for bus idling, causing poor air quality. Good point about the air quality. That's not something we've heard as much of, so appreciate that. Another one, it should not be a bus depot with long layovers. Broad Street reconnection, bus consolidation and better routing, signage and wayfinding, provisions for future pedestrian connection to intercity rail and bus. A true MARTA bus facility with permanent shelters and amenities is especially important. Need more pedestrian activity, especially as 2 Peachtree building is now becoming vacant and as more businesses are permitting remote work. Creation of affordable housing along transit. Like that, what could be called equitable transit-oriented development in some terms, or TOD. Marta's got a good TOD team and department, certainly working on some affordable housing projects at other stations. Future connections to potential intercity rail and bus rapid transit, or BRT, expansions nearby, more trees and shade on Plaza. I think one big worry locals have regarding the transformation is losing the quote unquote neighborhood feel and historical locations that add to the vibrancy of the area. New development should truly support transit by not having parking that will complicate pedestrian and bus movement around the station. Looking at edible landscape. Very cool. Okay, these are great. Thank you all. All right, I think we're probably at a bit of a critical mass there with our responses. So I'm going to move us along to the next one. Thank you again. All right, at this point, we will bring in another MARTA employee working on the project, Ms. Tara King, will give us a bit of an intro and overview of the reimagining of 5 points in the transformation. Tara, take it away.
Thanks, Alex. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Tara King, and I am the project manager for the 5 points transformation. I wanted to just give you guys a brief overview of where we are with the project now. So we are continuing to work on the design for the deconstruction of the canopy, that big brutalist canopy that sits on top is coming down. And so we're working through that. The station during construction will continue to remain open and operational. And any construction areas will be barricaded for safety and wrapped with the messaging that's going to be used for the World Cup in 2026. We're continuing to work with our stakeholders and partners to choose a final concept on what the putback will be. So we know the canopy is coming down, but we have not yet completely determined what the putback will be, with the exception of the garden that Kelly spoke about earlier, as well as the soccer pitch. We do know that those things will be back on the plaza level, but otherwise we're still working through what the design will be for the putback. This process in working with our stakeholders and partners to determine the final concept does include traffic engineering, constructability, and cost analysis. These are all the things that have to go into consideration when we're looking at the different concepts as to what the final plan will be for the station, for the plaza level. We're going to continue with public engagement such as this, along with some other pop-ups at different end-of-line stations. So that's what we're definitely working on now. And you can go on to the next slide.
Thank you, Tara.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see we've got one of the draft concepts here, a rendering of what the reimagined plaza and 5 Point station could look like. See, some things have been maintained here. Station soccer, the gardens over here on the right. It's like you've got a little store here, maybe to get some food or coffee, lots of outdoor seating areas, good green space. I like it a lot. So we will move on.
May I jump in for just 1 second, please?
Yeah, please, Kelly, of course.
I want to remind all of our guests that this is only a rendering. We do not know yet what the final design concept will look like. So what you see are very pretty pictures of concepts. Nothing here is set in stone, so please don't get tied to any particular visual that you see. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Yes, these are draft concepts and renderings. All right. Okay, so now that we're into the future of 5 points, the transformation, we want to know, once the transformation is complete, what changes do you envision? You've seen the prior draft concept rendering. You see this draft concept rendering here, just some ideas, some of the potential design, but certainly not final by any means. What changes do you envision? Please use the Mentimeter on menti.com to share your thoughts about what changes you envision as a part of the transformation. And I see we've got some questions in the Q&A. We will have time at the end of the presentation coming up shortly to dig into some Q&A with the audience. Okay, looks like we're getting some responses in. All right, easier bus transfers, more comfortable bus waits and layovers. Thank you. Please continue to share what you envision as a part of the transformation when it's complete. 24/7 activation, hoping service hours also expand. Okay. Keep those thoughts coming, y'all. Appreciate it. A safer and more vibrant, active destination, a much easier place to understand connections to the city and region. A reconnected street grid, lots of shade, activated pedestrian spaces with shops and residences, public art that reflects the history of 5 Points in downtown, more quote unquote eyes on the street. No bus layovers on streets in the future design. Please don't simply replace the existing canopy with a new canopy. Please leverage the downtown master plan and work to reconnect Broad Street. Okay. Other major cities often embed transit entry and exit points into the urban fabric of their streets, business districts, and neighborhoods. These are inconspicuous points of connection that support daily life. All right. Any more thoughts or ideas about what you envision as a part of the transformation? Okay, here's another. Buses integrated directly with the new station design and reactivated spaces to make seamless transfers with rail service below. Ensure the redesign supports future TOD or transit-oriented development. Sorry, it went away real quick when I finished that thought. Ensure the redesign supports future TOD, transit-oriented development, housing and jobs on top. Okay. All right. We'll move on to the next question for the sake of time. Feel free to put any other thoughts you have into the Zoom, and don't forget about the Q&A feature as well. Okay, so Next question. How can the transformation best serve your community's needs and priorities? Please share your thoughts about how the transformation can best serve your community's needs and priorities in the Mentimeter. All right, we've got some responses coming in. Okay. Support new TOD, transitory development, specifically housing on and around the station. Okay, thank you. Just waiting for some more thoughts. Okay, create urban streets focused on transit, pedestrian, and active travel, not cars. Good, multimodal transportation. Encouraging more people to choose transit to travel to downtown destinations rather than driving here. Certainly help with traffic and air quality, as mentioned before, right? Welcoming to pedestrians and attractive visitors. Current station and surroundings are not hospitable. Comfortable walking from one side of Broad to the other. It should be welcoming and inviting. Engage with neighbors. Atlanta Downtown Neighborhood Association, businesses, Central Atlanta Progress, work in context of previously supported master plans for our neighborhood. Make the station much simpler and easier to navigate, build housing, retail, and offices above a more pedestrian-oriented streetscape. Okay. Any other thoughts, ideas about how the transformation can best serve your community's needs and priorities? Please put that into the Mentimeter. We'll be moving on in just a moment. All right. Oh, there we go. Don't put buses to the side. They have huge potential and need to be enabled to better serve the city. Don't destroy what little history is left, e.g. old Union Station facade. All right. We'll move on in the presentation. Thank you for these ideas about how the transformation can best serve your community's needs and priorities. So I want to share a little bit about the timeline for the transformation project. So, currently we're in this planning and design phase. We are doing stakeholder and public engagement. Design concepts are being worked on and renderings are being developed. You've seen some of those draft concepts today. We're going to be doing some more engagements coming up. We actually have another open house today, an in-person open house at 5 Points Station on the Plaza from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. today. So I'll be out there. We'll have some of our Hummingbird team members out there that are working with Marta. Kelly and Tara and others from Marta will be out there as well. We'll have a similar kind of format. We'll have some different tables for you to share ideas on some of the photos and images you've seen today and some other ones as well that we haven't shared in the presentation, and to continue sharing your thoughts and input and ideas. We'll have some Marta swag as some giveaways. It's a little chillier out today, right? But it should be nice and sunny and should be a good time on the Plaza. So if you'd like to come out and join us, or your friends, family, or colleagues would like to come out, please join us today at the Marta 5 Points Station Plaza from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We'll also have some additional events coming up. The next ones that we've got in the works are some pop-up events. We actually did a pop-up event about a month ago at 5 Points. We may have seen some of y'all there, some of your daily and weekly and regular riders and users of Marta. We'll be doing some pop-ups at the end of the line stations to engage more of the riders and users of the Marta system and network. So basically through the rest of this year is all planning and design and public engagement. That's a part of the planning and design process. We're going to be coming back to you all and others continuously over the coming weeks and months to get more ideas, to share more of these concepts and renderings and potential designs, and get feedback and input on what you would like to see and what's of a priority for you all.
And
in
Alex,
your communities. Yes,
will you
Erica.
explain where the plaza is for folks who may not know?
Yeah, we'll be right there off of Peachtree on the plaza. Peachtree Street, Alabama, near Alabama and Peachtree, and the underground, the above side, the street level side of underground.
Thank you.
On the Peachtree entrance. Thank you, Erica, for the reminder. At the beginning of the year, we'll move into pre-construction. Tara mentioned some of those activities. There's actually already activity taking place at 5 Points that you all may have noticed. With the platform renovation where the trains come in to 5 Points, that's already being renovated. So there's already things in the works. Construction will start in the next year or two. It's a big undertaking, something I know we're all excited about. So looking towards the expected completion by 2028 and having the platform done in the next couple years. So let me move on to the next slide and Q&A. So this is the time for any other questions you all might have. I know we've got some already in the Q&A. If you've got more, please feel free to put those into the Q&A on Zoom. And or you can do it on Mentimeter as well, whatever's easier. And we can field those and we'll have Marta respond. So let's see what we've got so far. Oh, sorry. These are really more comments than questions. So again, in terms of how other people use 5 Points, walking and biking through 5 Points daily, I'm definitely one of those. Also making sure there's also someone talking about pedestrian passage to the 5 Points garden in terms of how they use 5 Points. Okay, 1 sec. All right. Any other questions for Marta about the transformation of 5 Points? Okay. All right. Any chance that bus parking could be underground to make it a more pedestrian-friendly plaza? Kelly, Erica, Tara?
I'll take that. Thank you, Ms. Kurtz, for that question. The underground of Atlanta, underground of 5 Point Station actually consists of tunnels now, ma'am. So we don't have a place to take the buses underground. One of the final concepts that we're looking at is moving the buses a bit off property to the property behind 143 Alabama. And in that instance, the buses will be ground level. So that is as close to being underground as we could take it.
Thank you, Kelly. All right, this one's from Jason. Has there been any examination of the adjacent rail infrastructure to build passenger platforms for intercity rail? In particular, the old New Georgia Railroad platform and siding along Lower Wall Street?
No, sir, we have not looked at that. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not even familiar with those areas. So no, we have not looked at that as a part of this effort. Marta, as an authority, may I be doing it with another effort, but it is not a part of this effort. So.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. And thanks for the question, Jason. All right. Any other questions? Let's see, we've got some here on the Mentimeter, so let me toggle over to that. All right. Are there any plans for development above the station?
I'm sorry? Above the station? Not with this effort. We do have a separate TOD department that looks at transit-oriented developments across the system, but it is not a part of this effort. There is a thought that some TODs will come at a future time, but again, they're not a part of this effort.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. Another one on the Mentimeter Q&A. Will Marta share the recommended quote unquote preferred alternative with the public in advance of presenting it to Marta's board of directors?
So the locally preferred alternative actually comes from the board. Until the board approves that, then we will be sharing it with the public at that time. It's not officially the preferred alternative until our Marta board approves it.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. We've got a couple more in the Zoom Q&A here from James. When can we explore what the garden could be with the design team?
So Mr. Heckler, hello there. As you know, we've been to the garden meeting a couple of times. We will not be bringing the design team down because they are not located in Atlanta. When we meet with them, we meet virtually. We will be coming back to you as a part of our public engagement plan to share with you the design concept that are there. And we will be looking for your input on the Plaza concept, not necessarily the design of the station itself, but the Plaza concepts.
Thank you, Kelly. And James, if you're available to come out today between 3 and 6, we'll be on the Plaza. Happy to talk with you more about your thoughts about the garden and the 5 points transformation and collect it there as well. We've got another question here, more of a comment, anonymous. A proper bus bay behind 143 Alabama sounds like a great idea to improve bus facilities.
So that option only works if the development of 143 Alabama actually happens. It would not be safe for us to put our patrons back there in the current state of the building. So we would have to work with our development partners for that option to fully work.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. I think this is coming back to the preferred alternative in the process with the board. That's why the question was regarding the recommended alternative. I guess it's if a recommended alternative would go before the public before it would go before the Marta board of directors.
I don't know that I have an answer to that right now. Okay. That's not really a question or kind of. So okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Another one in the Zoom from an anonymous attendee. Why is there seemingly so much effort to move buses away from the rail station and making transfers harder? Why not keep them central to the station at street level?
That is one of the goals of the project. Some of our stakeholders and partners would like to have buses moved away from the station, but we do need to keep in mind that this is Marta's bus hub, and there will be some bus activity at the station. How much bus activity and what routes will be there are unknown at this moment. We do have an overall network bus redesign that will play into what buses are located at the station, but there will be buses located at 5 Point Station after this transformation is done.
Yes, and I thought our primary focus is the safety and convenience for our bus riders.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you, Kelly and Erica. And thanks for the question. We've got another one. Thanks for all these great questions. Tanzi asks, my apologies if this was already answered. Will the historic structure and architecture within 5 Points remain?
It will. The historic Eisman facade will remain. That is actually not a part of this effort. That is a part of the platform work. It will be refreshing and cleaned up a lot as a part of the platform effort. That work actually starts at the end of this month and will be complete in mid-2025. The refreshing of the north, south, and the east-west platforms.
Okay. More of a comment back to some of this discussion about buses and transfers. As someone who has and will have to make those kinds of transfers, please keep them central to the station. Thanks for the answer.
Thank you very much. That is our goal. Again, safety and convenience for our passengers.
Yes, and we understand also that people that ride, I think sometimes there's this view that people ride are just able-bodied and it's just them and their whatever they're carrying. Sometimes we have families with children, people actually go shopping, especially in that 5 Point shopping district. So we're keeping all of that in mind as we go through the evaluations on where the buses should be located.
Yes.
Thank you both. Another question in the Mentimeter: what chance is there that Marta's bus routes will be electrified?
There's a 100% chance. We actually just got a grant from the FTA for the purchase of some electrical vehicles. We also have an effort in the authority to buy electric vehicles. So that is something that is coming. And we are right now working on putting the infrastructure in to charge the buses as they are put up across our routes. What routes they will go on, I don't know that quite yet. I don't know if that's been determined, but our buses will be electrified. The goal is to have a 50-50 fleet. Some of the buses will be, and maybe not even 50-50. We're going to have 2 ways to propel our buses: electricity and also natural gas. We don't want to get caught with only one mode to propel our buses, because if something happens with a supply chain, and then we will be shut down. So our goal is to always have multiple modes to propel our buses so that we can keep our service running at all times.
Awesome. Yeah, love the electric buses, like the question. It was great to see that Marta got some federal transportation funding for those buses. Cleaner air, healthier environments, all good things, no doubt. We've got another question in the Mentimeter. We probably got another minute or so. So if you have any other final questions, please do either put them into the Zoom Q&A or put them in through Menti or Mentimeter. Here's another question. What interim improvements for buses might there be before the final project is completed?
I'm not aware of any interim improvements at 5 Point stations for the buses until the final project is completed. We do have some authority-wide bus initiatives that are separate from this project, but I'm not aware of anything that is solely for this project.
Thank you, Kelly. Any other final questions? We probably got time for about one more. If anybody else has another question, put them into the Zoom Q&A or put them in through menti.com, whatever your preference. Okay. Not seeing any. Thank you all for all these great questions. Thank you, Marta, Kelly, and Erica and Tara for your responses. Really appreciate it. Here's our closing slide. We want you all to stay engaged with us. Here's a QR code. This takes you to our project website. Please go there to sign up to subscribe for updates, to share your feedback. We want to continue to hear from you all. We want to continue to engage with you all and with others. So please share this contact information. You'll see the phone number at the bottom. You'll see our email address, 5points@itsmarta.com. The website URL is 5pointstransformation.com. This QR code will take you to our website. And we look forward to staying in touch, keeping you all updated and informed across the progression of the project. We're excited about the in-person open house, a continuation, if you will, of this today at the 5 Points Plaza off Peachtree from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. this afternoon. So thank you all so much for attending, for participating, sharing your thoughtful input and ideas, your questions. Thanks again to Marta, Kelly, Erica, and Tara for your presentation today and your responses to these great questions. And with that, everyone have a great day.